Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this.
Hey friends, this is Steve. Welcome back to Crossright Homestead, and today we have a tree that is down on the homestead. During the recent storm, this blew down, so we're going to have to get this cleaned up. But the tricky thing about a down tree, sometimes it's hard to drop a tree, but a lot of times when the tree's already down, it can be tricky because those limbs have pressure on them that is going to spring into your saw or into you, and you got to be very careful when cutting these limbs to make sure that you're not pinching your saw or they're not kicking back and hitting you. So as we take this tree and try to get it broke down the rest of the way, we're going to walk through how to do that. So sometimes when you're cutting one that's on the ground, you got to be careful which side of the limb you cut on, because you don't know which way the pressure is as it's wedged into the ground. See how that sprung away from the saw? If it was wedged wrong, it could have sprung into the saw or into myself. So as you're cutting these, you got to try to look at them, see which way you think it's going to move to keep you and your saw safe, and just to make sure nobody gets hurt. We can see this limb is bowed out this way. So I'm probably going to cut this side and hopefully it springs out that way because of the pressure. If I cut on this side, it's going to probably wedge my saw. So just try to read it of where you think the pressure is going to be. So we'll see if this works. So you can see it does have pressure that way, but it didn't want to open up. This part wants to come down. So now I'm going to have to cut it on the back side. You always got to be careful. So as we're cutting this down, Mary's taking these limbs over to the cows. These green mulberry leaves, they just love them. It's like they're getting a treat. So the cows just love this part of it.
Let's enjoy some of that banjo music from my cousin Daryl from Arkansas.
So we had to take a little break there and clean up our workspace. You don't want all those trip hazards when you're using the saw. So let's go ahead and get back to work. So as you can see, as we're starting to cut away the branches that are holding it up, it's starting to put more pressure on this piece of fence right here. So we're going to have to go ahead and try and just cut this off and let this fall so we don't smash this fence all the way to the ground. So I'm going to have to get the bigger saw and get that fired up to try to do this. So I'd rather cut down a tree myself and chop it up as I go, because when they fall like this, as you can see out here, there's a lot of weight out this direction, but yet it's wedged in the ground here. So you're not quite sure which way that tree is going to twist as you try to cut this bottom off. But we're going to try and cut it off and see how it goes, because there's so much tension on that top end, you just never know which direction it's going to go. So as you can see, the stump's still lifted back up off of the fence by a few inches, so there was quite a bit of pressure on that. That's why we had to be careful. Okay, so now we got the main trunk on the ground. We're gonna go ahead and work that up, get that out of the way, and we'll probably use the big saw for that. Then we can go back to the small saw and work on the top of the tree. I could use the big saw for all of it, but I'm just too old and out of shape to be doing that, so I'm gonna switch back to the small saw here in a little bit. But we gotta get this trunk of it worked up. So if you're wondering why I'm not going all the way through the log with the chainsaw, because I'm trying not to get my chain in the dirt. That's the worst thing you can do to a chainsaw is run your chain into the dirt. So I'm just gonna leave a little bit of wood on the bottom attached, then I'll roll this log over and I'll cut that little bit, then I never have to hit the dirt with my chain. So that's why I'm not going all the way through. Now we can see that we only have to go in short lanes and this log will be cut all the way through. So we're going to go ahead and take a few of these branches over to the Angus calves, let them have some of these mulberry leaves like the other calf already got. Hey Mary, what do you call it when the cows like to eat the leaves?
I don't know.
A real treat.
No, that one's done.
What do you call it when your cows blend in with the surroundings? Camouflage. Okay, so now you've seen us. We took some leaves over to the Angus calves, over to Rocky Top, to Rosie. They all got a few leaves. We wanted to get this whole tree cleaned up today, but rain's moving in on us. It's starting to sprinkle and rain. We're calling for about 4 hours of rain, so we're going to have to take a break here and find something else to do on the homestead. Hey friends, welcome back to Crust Right Homestead, and today we're going to cook out a couple things on the smoker that I've never cooked before, but we're going to try that to see how it works out. So the first thing we're going to do is some salmon. I've never done this before, so this could be good or this could be awful. I don't know. We're going to try it on the smoker today, and Let's see what we got here. So we got a couple of nice salmon fillets, nice and thick. What we're going to do is we're going to put those into some water. This is empty. We're going to just cover it with a little bit of water, then add about a spoon of salt on top of it all. And then we will let it brine for about 3 hours. Then we'll be right back. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do on our salmon is we took it out of the water. Now we're going to pad dry it real quick with a paper towel. Just to help get some of that moisture off of there. We don't want too much water on it. Then we're going to take some honey. We're going to just put a spoon of honey on each one of them. This can get a little messy, but it'll be delicious. We're just going to take this brush it on there. Try to get it on all sides best you can. Then we're going to take some brown sugar, sprinkle that on the top of them both, nice and generously. I'm not measuring out the sugar, I'm just putting a good coating on. Just your regular brown sugar. Just like that. Now we will get it in the smoker. So now we've got the bacon wrapped venison loin on one side, and we got the salmon on the other. We got foil around both of them so they don't mix flavors. But we're gonna let them smoke for about an hour and a half, and we'll see how they turn out. All right, welcome back. So we have our salmon that we smoked for the first time we've ever smoked salmon, and we have the bacon wrapped deer loin. We're gonna give both of those a try right now. I don't know a lot about salmon, but as you can see, this is very flaky, very juicy, very good, very good. You can taste a little bit of that honey and brown sugar. Tastes very good. The salmon's good and juicy. Thank you for tuning in, and hope you have a blessed day.